Hello YouTube, it's your boy Nathan coming to you to do another recap video. Today we are talking 90 Day Fiancé The Other Way, Season 5, Episode 3, How I Haven't Met Your Mother. So we're just going to get on right to it. Based on the title, let's talk about who this title is basically based off. I'm going to start with Julio and Kirsten. Now, I like them. I like Julio and Kirsten. Now, Julio, remember, he was born and raised in the DR. His mom moved to America, to American Man on the K-1 visa years ago. And Julio was born and didn't know much English, and he learned everything on his own, basically. So basically, in this episode, Kirsten came in. She's from Netherlands, and Julio has plans of moving to the Netherlands. But Kirsten came and wants to meet the family. And they're in New York. So last week we saw them in New York and everything, just taking a tour around New York before they go back home. This episode, they're still in New York, still taking a tour. And, they have the big conversation. Julio has told very little about Kirsten to his mother, and did not tell his mother that he plans on moving to the Netherlands. And remember in the first episode, he just broke the news of all of that to the mother, and the mother was so upset. And now Kirsten didn't know that he didn't tell his mother. So Julio had to tell Kirsten that, you're about to meet the mother, and she does very little about you, and she doesn't know we're moving to the Netherlands. And Julio and Kirsten had spent a couple weeks in quarantine together, during COVID and stuff. And he had mentioned, he wanted to make sure about the relationship. And Kirsten asked him, so you weren't sure at that time? And he was like, no, but I am now and stuff. And, she was like, my boyfriend was not, sure about our relationship, about me and stuff, and hasn't told his family, basically. So now I'm going into this family dinner, and the mom's going to be upset. So, Julio and Kirsten had that conversation, and Kirsten's really not happy about him, but, she's still going to go along with it. They get to the house, they have the dinner, Kirsten asked the mother, has Julio told you anything about me? And she's like, yeah, very little, not much, and everything. And then Julio had told the mom that he's moving to the Netherlands in about 3 months and stuff. And she just started crying. She's losing, she feels like she's losing her child. And, Kirsten was not happy about it, doing it that way and stuff. And I'm Team Kirsten. I was just like, why didn't Julio, what was Julio afraid of? I mean, I know him and his mom have a strong bond, and that's what she said in the episode, but what was he afraid of? He shouldn't have been that afraid to tell his mom that. So now his mom had, just finding out about the relationship. Now she's just finding out that he's going to be moving to the Netherlands very soon. So yeah, that didn't go over too well, so. But anyway, other than that, I like them as a couple. I like Kirsten then because she's Eastern European, but she does not she does not come off rude like previous 90 Dayers from Eastern Europe that do come off rude, like Yara, like Natalie and stuff that are rude and stuff, like Jasmine and Blake from season 7. Kirsten is pretty cool, and she doesn't give me gold digger vibes. She doesn't give me any rude vibes so far. I like her so far, so give some tips to Yara, Natalie, Jasmine, and all them. Kirsten, just saying. Just saying. But anyway, that was Kirsten and Julio. Next couple I want to talk is Holly and Wayne. So Holly and Wayne moving to South Africa. And we all know the main folk, they're about to get married, but the mom went for the wedding. But the main focus of the season for them is the area where they live in is not a good neighborhood. Wayne has been broken into multiple times and everything. And, that part of South Africa is just pretty dangerous. I'm really surprised Holly decided to move there. So in this episode, Holly and the mother and Wayne go back to Wayne's house. Wayne mentions how he did everything he can to make the house feel secure and stuff. Holly and Wayne are Jehovah Witnesses, so they're not going to be like intimate until they're married and stuff. So Holly and her mother have to stay in the same room, and Wayne stays in the separate room. And the mother is just like, she's just trying. This is her first time being out the country, so she's just trying to get used to everything, basically. And so Wayne takes them on a tour around the house, and they go around back to see a pool. But apparently there was like a little doggy space area. I guess Wayne had a dog previously, and one of the times that he got broken into, the burglars actually killed the dog. So once they went past like the doghouse area, Holly just started bawling, crying. How can somebody come and kill a dog? And I just felt her pain. She's like, I don't even want to see the pool. When she saw the area where the dog was killed, like, she just broke down and went back in and stuff and everything. So, it was unfortunate that happened. I felt so bad when I heard that. Like, that was just awful. So they do that, and then they have their first night together. Everybody slept pretty well the first night. The mom was getting used to it, and then Wayne had made a inappropriate comment. It wasn't intentional, but he said that he used the word threesome with Holly and her mother, and we're just like, what? What? And he meant to say let's all go to the couch down in the other room and watch a movie or something and everything. And then I'm like, well, everybody was like, well, say that first. Basically, say that first. I'm not having a threesome with my mother and stuff. That's just weird and stuff, So, yeah, Wayne, watch your words, watch your words, because that did not come out right and everything. But the mother, Wayne said that for the mother, he wanted to give her a sleeping tablet, basically, because he really wanted to be intimate with Holly, but with them being the Jehovah Witnesses, they're waiting and stuff. So, yeah, that was basically it from Holly and Wayne. They, I don't know. I really don't know about them. I don't know. It's hard for me to get a read on them right now. I think that Wayne is a little aggressive, in my opinion, and so I don't know. But we'll see how that plays out. So yeah, that was Holly and Wayne. Next couple I want to talk is Kenny and Armando. So Kenny and Armando, they had that fight last week about who owes who what and stuff. Now, they're in Mexico City because Kenny wants to live there so bad, and Armando thinks that's another dangerous place and everything. But in this episode, they decided to go to a school, a really nice school, and for Hannah to check out and stuff. So they go to the school, and Kenny said this: if Hannah likes this school, I could possibly get Hannah on my side. If I could get Hannah on my side, maybe that would convince Armando. And I'm just like, Kenny, really, you're going to use the kid for your advantage? You're going to really use the kid for your advantage? Come on now, man. Come on, man. You know better than that. So they go to the school, and Hannah meets the teacher. She speaks English. Hannah is doing great with her English. She just came a long way. We just met her a few years ago, and just look how grown she's gotten. And the teacher said that half the day you'll have an English teacher and half the day you have a Spanish teacher. And Hannah says she really likes it, but she don't want to be far away from her friends, but she does like the school. So they let her go play in the playground, and Kenny and Armando talked and everything. And Armando's saying, yeah, I could possibly see if Hannah likes this, and I could possibly see this, but still a little skeptical. But he'll hear him out and stuff and see what's for the best. And with Kenny and Armando, when they fight, they don't fight and have like a big blowout and just storm off like the other couples in the 90 Day. They actually talk it out. They fight for a little bit, it'll linger for a little bit, but then they'll talk it out. They'll come to a compromise, and that's how it should be. And then they get over it, and that's how it should be. I mean, couples learn from Kenny and Armando, please. That's why I ranked them the #1 couple in the 90 Day universe, because like the only drama that they have is the acceptance from the families. Armando's family, they're really tight. It was literally like pulling teeth to try to get the father on the side for the wedding and stuff and everything. So yeah, but other than that, like, Kenny and Armando, they're cool. They're cool. So yeah, they only had one scene in this episode, so that was about it. So that was Kenny and Armando. Next couple I want to talk is Brandon and Mary. So last week, where all of us were all irritated with Mary, Brandon had got on the plane to go to the Philippines, and then he was sitting with the girl, and Mary flipped out. And so in this episode, he arrives to Manila. He gets on video chat with Mary and says, "Look, if I have to be on a plane with a girl, you're just gonna have to get over it. You're just gonna have to get used to it." And she's like, "Okay, but just don't talk to them." And he's like, "I'm not talking to them." She's like, "Okay, whatever." So they get past that. He arrives to the Philippines, and Mary's brother takes, actually, no, she had a conversation with her grandparents and saying, don't show too much like public display of affection because our ancestors are basically watching, and like it's preferred to be married before you do all of that. And Mary has never kissed anybody. She's had boyfriends before, but she never kissed anybody and everything. And so but she really loves Brandon. So she was just like, I may kiss Brandon at the airport. And she didn't tell him that the parent or the grandparents don't want her to do that. So Brandon arrives to the Philippines, and Mary's brother went with them, and everything. And when he arrived, came out the airport, they just started making out and everything. And the brother is just sitting there standing there like a deer in the headlights. So like, our ancestors are watching. The grandparents said that don't kiss him, and so they get into the car, and the brothers and Brandon and Mary are still like googly eyed and making out and stuff. But the brothers say, you're not really supposed to have that much public kissing like that. Mary didn't tell you that. And Brandon was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, does this make you uncomfortable?" And the brother was like, "I'm fine with this, but you'll have to explain that to my grandparents, basically." So they get to the grandparents' house, they meet and everything. And then Brandon, the grandfather, asked Brandon, "What did y'all do when y'all first saw each other at the airport?" And we left with a cliffhanger on that one. So he was just like, if he finds out that we were kissing like that, and I just got here, this is not going to be a good start. So, I mean, this is the first time I heard that, because, in the Philippines, and especially with other Filipino couples in the past, usually I'm just surprised about how Mary is, because like Mary has never kissed anybody, so that was her first kiss. She said that the guy has to be completely special for her first kiss, which is Brandon, and she doesn't have a kid. In previous 90 Day years, and pretty young, they usually have a kid by now, like even at a young age, like Rose, like Sheila, like Hazel, and all them and stuff. So I'm really surprised that Mary is not like that, but so she's just in a different part of the Philippines. So, and like I said, her house is it's not perfect, but it's a lot better than Rose's and Sheila's, in my opinion. So I mean, it's still gonna have its problems because we're gonna see in the next episode some creatures getting in that they don't want to see. So, but if I was Brandon, I'd rather live there than Sheila's place and everything. So I'm just saying. But anyway, that was Brandon and Mary. Last couple I want to talk is this voting couple, TJ and Kimberly. So Kimberly is moving to India. Her dad took her to the airport. You know, they had like a little funny pirate talk and emotional goodbye and stuff. So she arrives to India and to marry TJ, and they're getting there's like some kind of place that they're building and stuff or whatever. And TJ lives like with 4 people in this house, and he believes that living together with a lot of people because Kimberly's gonna have to live with them and with the family and stuff. She don't really want to, but she's just doing it for him, and they just make it do. TJ had said that his parents have not slept together in like 20 years because they had a fight. So the dad sleeps on the floor in the house while the mother is like in the bedroom, and they have not slept together for years because of a big falling out. And I'm just like, seriously? Seriously? Did that really happen? Or is that something just said for TV? But then again, you can't make that up. I mean, but if you and your wife had a falling out and you haven't slept together in 20 years and you're not divorced, okay. Okay, whatever floats your boat. Because that just surprised me. But I do think in Indian culture, they don't really believe in divorce like that. So anyway, so Kimberly arrives to India, and she goes to TJ's house. The family's there. They're greeted and happy. They're happy to see her, blah, 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 and all that. Then they go to like the little apartment place that they're trying to build. Well, TJ tried to build some kind of like living area for him and Kimberly, and the bathroom had a door on the other side of where it should be, on the other side where the toilet is at, and the sink was he had his sink and it was on the outside. And when Kimberly saw that, she just like freaked out. She started screaming at him and everything. And she's like, why is this door not here and not here and everything? I have to freaking pee, and this is going to be a direct shot. Like, what are you doing? This should have been done by the time I got here. She just went crazy and everything. And TJ, he raises his voice pretty quick too. Like, I'm working on this. You should be grateful. I'm working on this. I do this for you. Blah, blah, blah. And then they just went back and forth. Well, you should have had this done. You should have thought more about this because I'm coming here for you and everything. And then like she also called TJ a DICK, and he was like, mind your words. And she was like, I came here to marry you. You're supposed to be my partner and you're not showing it. And he was like, don't marry me. So I'm just like, man, that escalated quickly. And the house was not a bad house. I mean, if he could have done a little bit more, but he was like, this is not New York. I didn't have one of my, like, anybody from New York come to build this, and everything. And I'm just like, you know what, Kimberly, cut him some slack. So at least he tried. And it was better than Ronald's house when Ronald did his thing in South Africa for Tiffany and her son Daniel and stuff. So I'm just like, he's trying. Like, cut the man some slack. And she literally just got there and, like, just started screaming at him and stuff. So, and I was like, I liked Kimberly before, but then now we gotta watch her. We gotta watch her. So I'm just saying, because that kind of threw me off a little bit, and he's no better because he's screaming and hollering too. And I do know like a lot of like Indians, like when they raise their voice, when they get loud, they get loud. I've seen Submit get loud. I didn't see Rishi much get loud, but Submit got loud. Submit's family got loud. This TJ guy, he gets loud and stuff. So everybody's getting loud. So yeah, I'm just like, I don't know, Kimberly. That wasn't a good start. So we'll see how that plays about next week. Anyway, guys, that was all the couples. We still haven't seen Danielle and Johan. We'll see them next week. This season of The Other Way. I mean, this episode was a lot better than the first two. I will admit, like we're finally cooling the weirdness. And this is why I did the recap, because the weirdness had stopped. So I was like, okay, this episode wasn't too weird like the first two were. So like I can handle this. But anyway, guys, that's it. I'll see you guys back next week when I recap B90. And I promise, hopefully, I hope I don't break this promise, but I'll be doing a YouTube live for B90 next week. So watch out for that. I can't wait to do that. So be on the lookout for that. Anyway, guys, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all next week. Have a good one.